Hey everybody, welcome back to the Above Average Fisherman. We're here at the local lake again, and we're going to do a preview of some Temu baits. Last video I did a preview of Temu bait casters. I did get a comment that I didn't do much of a review on it. That was just a general review. I did take the reel apart. There is a mix of metal and plastic gears in it. It did seem like it was a decent reel. At one point towards the end when I said fail, the line, the fluorocarbon line, actually got in between the spool and the body right there, and that was what got it. So, and that happened a couple times, so I'm not sure if that's a good thing, but as far as the price goes and the feel of it and the cast, they work pretty well. Like I said, I got a comment about it. I didn't do much of a review. I didn't break it down into everything as much as maybe I should have or was expected, but it was a general to see if it would be worth it for the amount of money, because it was like 12 bucks. I mean, come on, man. Buying a bait caster for 12 bucks? You know, if you want to get into tournament fishing and you can't afford to spend 150 bucks on a mid-range reel or 250 bucks on one of the top ones, get started with a $12 reel. You could have a whole set of all your different rods and spend 12 bucks on a reel. That's just the start if you don't have the money. If you do, I would say at least get into mid to low, 50, 60 bucks a reel. You'd probably be doing all right. But hey, 12 bucks a reel, that's all right. Before I get going on the Temu baits, I do want to share with you about something. Miles Berghoff, I don't know if you guys know who he is. He's sponsored. He's a professional fisherman. He's sponsored by Z-Man and Battleborn batteries and whatnot. His channel is Sonar Fishing. He recently I don't necessarily know him personally. I've met him. We've talked. We were talking last time I was in Chickamauga. We talked on the boat ramp. Nice, really nice guy. I don't know if you've seen his last video. You might want to go back to get more information than what I can give, but I wanted to mention him because his daughter, very young daughter, Riley, has been diagnosed with a cancer they've seen, but it's kind of rare. He kind of explained it. And they are at Riley Hospital now, or excuse me, St. Jude's Hospital now, which is fantastic. But before they got to St. Jude's, they had a bunch of stuff that was done out of network, and it just piled up a bunch of bills. And he does have a GoFundMe for her. So, if you could take a minute, go check out his video at Sonar Fishing, and maybe throw $5 at his GoFundMe. I know one scan, because I have MRIs annually, and without having insurance, you're talking anywhere from 30 grand on up for an MRI scan. And they had an MRI, and they had a CT scan, and they had the other stuff, all of which was out of network on all of their insurance, so they have to pay for that out of pocket. Just because I said pro fisherman doesn't mean that he's got pockets full of money. Okay, he's like anybody else. He's fishing at a higher level, but he's got the same bills, mortgage and all that, and you live to what you're making. So these bills are going to hurt. So if you can help out, please go check out his channel, subscribe, support him, and that'd be great. All right. So today what we're going to talk about or look at is two particular baits that I got from Temu. They were fairly cheap. I bought them in a set. You can buy a set of these for like $9. It comes with 4, I think, or 5. These are chatterbaits. And the same thing here. You can get a set for like $9, and there's like 5 of them. And these are some jerk baits. These are the small jerk baits here, same size as like a Rapala. So I am going to show a little bit of a comparison between like a Rapala, and this brand is called Henja. I don't know, something like that, something from over there. So I'm not going to open these up. I will open them up so you can get some look at them here. floating. These are sinking. But this is the bait. It seems to be pretty well made in comparison to, you know, high dollar baits. It has good graphics on it, good paint job, some shiny, got good eyes on it, solid parts. Seems like it's a pretty decent bait for the price. So that's the stick bait. This is the stick bait. Let me hold it up here for you to get a good look at it. Alright, that's the stick bait we got. We're going to compare. And here is the chatterbait. And we all know Z-Man was the ones that brought chatterbait big time to the market. I'm sure there was another company that started it out, but Z-Man was the one that, you know, kicked it off. So here's the chatterbait Hengia fishing tackle. Hengia. Whatever. So this is the chatterbait from Hengia. It has an offset hook on the inside, almost like a offset worm hook that moves. Ouch! And seem like they're pretty sharp too. And so that's the Hengia. So we're going to use one of these, which I have tied on the other rod, and we are going to compare it to the original chatterbait, which we will show you just to show that I have that. And there is a little bit of difference here because the original chatterbait from Z-Man, as you can see the imprint on the bill, does not swivel or pivot on the hook. It's just a straight shank hook. It does have a little lead keeper there to hold your trailers on. However, this hook does not swivel around and impart any more action. So that's kind of a bonus on the Chinese or Japanese, whatever kind of these baits they are. But they seem like they're pretty well made. Let's take it down to the water and we'll do a comparison of how they swim and how they cast. First, we're going to throw the chatterbait, and hopefully the camera can get a good view of it swimming in the water, because I want to show the comparison of how they both swim. Once again, let's look here how it's tied on there. Just a quick knot, real quick. A little bit different connection there on the bill, and there's no swaying hook, as we said before. So let's check it out. Go ahead and cast this out. It'd be nice if we caught something while we were doing the comparison, but I'm not going to hold my breath. Cast is pretty decent out. Let it go down a bit. Have to feel it on the rod like you usually do. Feels pretty good. Turn feels good. Obviously this is a Z-Man, so I know it's going to be good. Let's see if we can get footage of it swimming. So we're going to go back and forth with him here. Right, there's the action of the Z-Man. Alright, so that is the Z-Man. Now we're going to go ahead and throw the Hengia. Hengia. Alright, once again I'm going to show the differences. This hook actually swivels. Instead of having a lead keeper on the top of the hook, it has an offset hook on it. A little split ring keeping it to the head, which is kind of nice because you can change this hook out to a bigger hook if you wanted to. And this has just a clip swivel right there. Actually, it's not a swivel, it's just a bait clip at the top holding it. But the action, instead of being where it's tied, is coming not only from the bill, but from the wag of the hook. Let's check this out. And that's, for what I've seen, that's the only way these Chinese ones come. They come with a swivel hook or the loose hook. gonna give this a cast and we'll check out the action. Feels pretty good, the action. I can feel it on the rod. It's just common with chatterbaits. Once we get this out, we'll compare the skirts. Alright, so let's look at the action. We'll go back and forth again on this one. Whoops. It has pretty good action. Imagine if you had a trailer on that with the hook being able to wag. It seems pretty decent. I don't know what the sound is. Like each one has a different sound, like the jackhammer and all them. They all have different sounds. Yeah, that seems to work out pretty good. It's rated the same. I'm going to look at the construction of them both. We'll compare them side by side to the camera. Alright, set this down here easily. This one down, we'll hold these up. So here's our two chatterbaits. This is the original chatterbait, like I said before, like for the third time now. Straight hook. Here's how it connects to the bill. No eyes, just a painted head. Let's see, it's got a pretty decent skirt on it. Strong, you know, Z-Man has strong rubber baits. All right, let's look at this one. So there's the difference, the clip on the front, and of course for the third time again, it's got that hook on the back that's not fixed. You can wag around. And let's feel the skirt on it. Skirt on it isn't too bad. Actually pretty close. Of course, it's not going to be the same makeup as Z-Man, because Z-Man has their own proprietary plastics, but it seems pretty much the same as any other soft plastic skirt. So there you have it. As far as the chatterbait goes, you could buy, you know, one of these for $5 or $6, which isn't bad, maybe $7. Or you can get started with a whole set of these, like 4 or 5 of them, for like $9 on Temu. All right, so let's move on to these. The jerk baits I got here, we'll take another look at those and see how they swim. How they look. All right, let's check out our jerk baits. And once again, there is a difference, and I know I'll probably hear something from somebody that, you know, is completely different here and there. This does sink. This one floats. However, we're looking at the fishability of it, construction of it, and see, you know, kind of a comparison. I know it's not apples to apples, but it's like hedge apples to apples. Pretty close. So let's check it out. These are both really light baits. Some people can fish them on bait casters, maybe on a finesse system bait caster. I prefer to fish them on, and I feel like I have better feel and better control on a spinner. So let's take a cast. Now this, once again, we got it close up here. Here's the Temu. Looks pretty good. See how this casts out here. Obviously that's sunk down there. I'm just going to do a straight retrieve because I want to feel it. I can feel it. You know, we all, those of us who fish with these, know that these baits don't do a whole lot of thump, 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 thump to the side, like a crankbait, your average crankbait that will sit and wobble through the water. These actually kind of do the, almost like a swim rather than a wag. So that's why they utilize more for a jerkbait purpose than just a retrieve. But you can catch fish with it on a straight retrieve. But we'll take one more cast with this. The castability is good. It goes out there pretty well. Just a little bit of breeze. This is not a heavy weight. It's pretty light. That's why, another reason why I use spin reels. So I'm just got to slow straight and retrieve to get the feel and pop it a few times. Anytime you're using a jerkbait, you really need to input target some action. Some people go jerk, jerk, pause, jerk, 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 pause, jerk, jerk, pause. So, alright. I like the way that looks. It looks pretty good. It's got good colors on it. Nice and flashy. Looks like a minnow that would be in these waters in our area. So that was that one. Let's set this down without hooking it up. Do it side by side here in a second. Here's the good old faithful grapple. We all know how good grapple is. Really light though. Give it a cast. Right. Cast well. I just want to do a quick comparison of how they feel in the water. Pretty close. I think the Rapala might have a little bit better action. As I was feeling it come through the water, I could feel the Rapala doing this. I couldn't necessarily feel that. That doesn't mean it wasn't doing it. That just means that I couldn't feel it. So, do another cast with this real quick. Target action on this one this time. Might get lucky and get a hungry bass there. I like to use medium action rods when I'm using a jerkbait. I think that the bend, the give a little bit, kind of gives it a little bit, I don't know, the way the action is. That's just me. Some people like a little stiffer, like medium heavy or something. I like a medium action or lighter. Alright, let's do it side by side. Alright. For those who want to know, this is 15-pound fluorocarbon line that I'm using. So here is the Temu jerkbait, looks wise, compared to the Rapala. Pretty close in size. Obviously this is a floating and this is a sinking. However, let's take a look at the construction of it here. Looks pretty decent. Not much of a bill on this one. Of course, this is a sinking one, so it doesn't need too much of a bill. But the bill's kind of small. That might be why I didn't feel it very much coming through the water. Obviously, bill a lot bigger on the Rapala. Excuse me. Here we can see inside the Temu here some of the hardware. See inside there? Up there too. Now, there's a little bit of a rattle. Rapala's actually quiet, so make sure we don't get up here. All right, so conclusion, I would say that these particular baits, now I have seen some pretty bad Temu stuff before, but these particular baits, I'd say they're pretty good. I will show you, I do have another big, we'll do a quick, without a cast, but a visual comparison with a big Temu jerkbait and a Strike King one of those, the newer forward-facing sonar stick baits that they have out that they sell, that's packaged in a tube. Do a comparison, just a side-by-side look at those when we get up to the truck there. Just get these secured and put away correctly so we don't have too much of an issue when I'm putting them away. I don't know about anybody else, but I am on fire for this season. I am ready to rock and roll. I'm ready to put my boat on the water, which I don't. I take a break in the winter. I should fish all winter, but hey, you know what? You got a happy wife, happy life. All right, let's go up here and check out these bigger stick baits. Okay, so this here is just out of the package. These both are actually. A good friend of mine, which you guys will be seeing probably this season. My partner, fishing partner, bought me that for Christmas actually. This is the Strike King forward-facing sonar. It's sold in a tube. And And this, still a piece of rubber from the packing that they kind of keep the hooks all together. This is a Temu stick bait. So the eyes are pretty close as far as quality goes. Mold, very much the same, almost like they use the same mold almost, except for the top of the head there. I don't know, they are real darn close. I mean, shoot, this could be almost the same mold, who knows. Nah, there's an edge right there, and whoop, there's an edge right there too. Looks like they might be the same mold. Oops, found something we weren't supposed to find maybe. But anyway, this one here cost about $12 for that. And that's a good bait, don't get me wrong. That's a fantastic bait, actually. Whoops. Sorry, that was... No wonder why that was... Here is the right one I was supposed to show you. There we go. The reason why those two were so alike is because they were just alike. This is the one I got. This is the new forward-facing sonar. Strike King. It's got a weight in it. Yep. So anyways, these were the... That was the wrong one I pulled out. It was one of the ones that came in the set. These, again, also come like 5 or 6 in a set for like $10 or $12 or something. I mean, they're just a heck of a deal. They got a rattle in them. They come in multiple different colors. Here's the set that you get for $12. I'll pull. There's 4 of them, and I got another one tied on a rod back at the house. But you get these 4 for like $9, and this one here costs like 12. But this one here has a little something inside there so that the forward-facing sonar can pick it up really well. It has a weight that actually rolls. You can see the weight right there. It actually rolls in a chamber so that when you go back and you cast it, the weight flies and does that kind of thing and gives you a good cast. Let's see. Yeah, there's a nice little rattle in there. Let's see how these go. Little rattle in here, not as loud, different, but still pretty good. And they're pretty well made, not as heavy. This is actually made for forward-facing sonar nowadays. This one's just a stick bait, but it looks very close to the stunner. Okay. See, these are. Let's look at the hardware on them. These hooks seem like they're all right, but you can always change out hooks. I mean, these ones here, you spend $12. That hook right there, I just thought about picking it up and my fingers started bleeding. I mean, they just stick you. They're sticky. These ones here, they're pretty sharp too. Matter of fact, I think there's some blood right there from one of these. But I think after a little while that they'd get dull. But you can always change these out. If you're like any of us that tournament fish or bass fish a lot, we have replacement treble hooks on hand. You can pop these in and pop them out, put new ones on. But these are pretty good for the price Temu gives you for what you get. Let's put this all together. So we're talking $9 and you get 5 of these jerk baits. Now these are sinking. You can probably find 12 bucks. Another $9, $10 and you get 5 or 6 of these chatter baits. We're looking at another $9 or $10, maybe 12, and you get a whole set of this size jerk bait. So we're looking at probably, we'll just round it all up to 10. We're looking at $30, and if you get, we'll even go lower and say there's 4 baits per set times 3, so you get 12 baits for $30. That bait costs $12. So 2 of these is $24. I can't even get a third one with $30. But I got 12 baits with those. So I don't know. You weigh it out. If you want to save money and have plenty of baits to choose from, or you want to get into tournament fishing without having to spend too much, this might be a good way for you to get into it and have plenty to choose from as far as colors and baits. You lose one, you need to replace it. This might be the way to go. Anyways, Thanks again for coming and hanging out with the Above Average Fisherman. I look forward to a good season this year. I'm going to try and keep my videos coming on a regular pace. Sometimes it's hard to find camera people, and it's hard to do camera things when you're doing a fishing video by yourself if you're trying to cast. I mean, I have a chest rig, but you know how it is. Anyway, I'm going to try to keep my videos coming up. For those of you who are supporting me now, thank you so much. God bless you.